Kia Sonet looks properly aggressive from the front, with exceptional attention to design and details. This being the top spec GT X Plus variant, you get all LED headlamps with LED DRLs which also function as the turn indicators. And since this is the GT variant, you also get red accents on the front grille along with front bumper. There are multiple textures and finishes on the exterior of this car, including piano black and knurled chrome finish. And it is commendable that Kia has tried to maintain the concept's design. Moving on towards the sides, this top spec GT X Plus variant gets these rather nice looking 16-inch crystal cut alloy wheels along with red highlights on the body along with bright red brake calipers. Overall, these red accents on the body and on the wheels of the GT X Plus GT line variant looks really aggressive and unlike any other compact SUV in the market. Here's a quick look at the car from a further angle, and now let me just show you the side profile of this car. This being the top spec petrol automatic variant, you get a 7-speed DCT badging on the right side fender, and this is how the car looks like from the side profile. Even though it is not the most proportionate compact SUV, it gets a whole lot of ground clearance, 211 mm to be precise, which is much more than any other compact SUV in the Indian market. Along with that, you also get to see full chrome door handles with chrome lining on the windows along with silver finished roof rails as standard. You also get shark fin antenna on top, completing the modern SUV looks. Now moving on towards the back, I personally feel that the rear of the Kia Sonet does not actually match with the front of the car. That's because the rear seems more rounded off and resembles certain older cars such as the Honda BR-V. However, the LED detailing on the tail lamps are really very good and the overall attention to design is quite evident. For example, you get to see the reverse parking camera located right above the Kia logo integrated into the reflector section. And the rear bumper also gets a piano black finish, contrasting and combining with the red and silver accents. So that was all about the exteriors. Let's now get inside this car. Yes folks, right now I'm inside the new Kia Sonet compact SUV GT X Plus top spec variant, and this is how the interior looks like. Immediately it looks like a funky interior with lots of features. Of course, this is the most feature-loaded compact SUV in the Indian market today. As I already said, attention to design is quite evident, with even the AC vents getting knurled finish and every switch and button working precisely as you want it. A highlight feature I would like to point out is that this car gets wireless charging along with a cooling function for the smartphone, whereas this here is the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission lever, which also gets contrast silver and red accents. Behind that as well, you get to see this knurled finish, which is quite premium to look at. Starting with the steering wheel, of course, you get beautiful quality leather along with GT line badging on the steering wheel itself. The instrument cluster is a semi-digital one. As you can see, it provides an MID, which shows you a color display. Of course, talking about other features, this car gets cruise control as standard from the mid-spec variant itself, along with automatic headlamps. However, no automatic wipers are on offer. However, this being the top spec variant, you get push button start, which is located on the right side of the steering wheel, along with electronic stability program, traction control, hill hold control, front parking sensors, and so on. Now, the overall quality of the cabin materials is really very good. However, everywhere you get to see hard plastics. Even though they are well textured, these are properly hard plastics. Even on the dashboard, you do not get any sort of soft touch material. Let me just show you the passenger side of the dashboard, and as you can see, this is a vast expanse of hard plastic. However, they are well textured. The glove box, as you can see, is not a soft open glove box. However, it is reasonably sized and does not get a cooling function. Now, this being the top spec variant, you get a leather padded center armrest, which is quite nice, and you also get a decent amount of storage space. However, on this top spec variant, you get an air purifier which takes up the armrest space. The front seats are very comfortable, and being the top spec variant, you get ventilated seats along with leather upholstery. You also get drive and traction modes on the center console for the top spec automatic variants. This being the top spec variant, you get, of course, all power windows with the driver window getting one touch up and down function, and the door armrests are also padded in leather with contrast red stitching. The overall visibility of this cabin is quite nice, and moving on towards the roof, you get auto dimming IRVM with Kia's UVOCONNECT buttons over there integrated into the IRVM. The front part of the cabin also gets two individual yellow cabin lamps along with a sunglass holder, which is again quite nicely felt lined. Just like every other Indian car, you get a vanity mirror only for the passenger side sun visor, which is quite nice and large. So those are the features of the Kia Sonet GT X Plus variant. Now let's try to turn on the displays. Finally, I've got the keys to this Kia Sonet GTX Plus variant, and as you can see, this is a compact and lightweight key. Let me just turn on the power button, and this is how the instrument cluster looks like. This is a semi-digital instrument cluster with a digital speedometer readout. However, other things are properly analog. This being the top spec variant, you of course get this large 10.24-inch touchscreen system with inbuilt navigation, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and Kia's UVOCONNECT connected car technology. In fact, you can connect your smartwatch to this car and operate various functions including remote engine start-stop. Now this is an advanced interface as seen on the Kia Seltos and is much more smoother and crisper to operate. It is a pretty large screen, however this screen is properly in the eye-line side of view, though it would be quite interesting to see how the lower models have placed their infotainment systems. This instrument cluster immediately reminds you of certain other Hyundai models. However, since this instrument cluster is connected to the infotainment system, if you are using the navigation, you also will get turn-by-turn navigation instructions on this MID. And just like before, you get distance to empty, average mileage and every other detail as you need. Now let's get to the back seat of the Kia Sonet GTX Plus variant. So yes, I am in the back seat of the Kia Sonet compact SUV, and this is how the dashboard looks like from the rear seat. Talking about the rear space, it is just about adequate. I have adjusted the driver seat for my height, which is 5'10" for reference, and anyone above 5'10" will be struggling for legroom over here. This car also gets seat back pockets which are adequate in size, and you also get rear center AC vents which are again quite nicely detailed in terms of design, and just below that you also get a USB port which is quite helpful, and the rear seats get a center armrest with couple cup holders. The rear seats themselves are quite comfortable, and of course this here is the highlight feature of the Kia Sonet. You get 7 speakers from Bose along with the subwoofer which is located in the boot. You get 2 adjustable rear headrests along with ISOFIX child seat mounts as standard for 2 seats. So that was all about the features at the back. Well, coming to the roof, of course, you also get to see a separate cabin light for the rear passengers along with the sunroof over there. Now let's take a look at the boot. This here is the boot of the Kia Sonet compact SUV, and it claims to have 392 liters of overall capacity. As you can see, this is very well shaped. It is quite nice to see that despite being based on the Hyundai Venue, they have managed to carve out more boot space. On the left side you get to see a boot lamp, and on the right side you get to see the Bose subwoofer integrated into the trim itself. That said, this car also carries forward the narrow width of the Hyundai Venue and the lack of rear seat space. Under the boot floor you get to see a 15-inch steel spare wheel, which of course is exactly the same as seen on the Hyundai Venue. This is in fact the only compact SUV to provide 15-inch steel spare wheel as against to the 16-inch ones. And of course this car also does not provide 60-40 split function for the rear seats. Now let's just close the boot and conclude this quick walk around by talking about the engines and other details. It is a given fact that the Kia Sonet is going to be a great success. It is available with 3 different engine options in 4 state of tunes with 5 transmission options and 6 variants. Despite the lack of rear seat space, the Kia Sonet is an excellent feature-loaded compact car, and the long-term success depends on its pricing. So stay tuned for further updates on the pricing of the Kia Sonet. Meanwhile, this is Viprajesh signing off. See you on another video. Thank you for watching.